what the NCAA baseball tournament does because they do it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's Friday night edition of the Grand Power After Hours. Today's topic, off the wall dumbness.
There's enough of that.
Yeah.
There's enough of that.
And mind you, folks, there's dumbness everywhere you go, whether in sports, TV, or in life. There's still plenty of it to go around. Just don't be stupid enough that it gets caught on ESPN SportsCenter or Come On Man. Because who knows? That will bound to make you really even stupider than you already are. And believe me, there's a lot of pro athletes who made themselves stupid and famous on Come On Man for doing stupid things.
Yep, true.
Now, Tom Brady ended up there a couple of times. One for not knowing what down it was.
That was against the Bears early in the year.
Yeah. He thought it was fifth down. He didn't realize it was fourth down.
He thought it was third, but it was fourth.
No, he was holding up four fingers and said fifth down. Or the ever popular Antonio Brown hucking his ball sack on the goalpost in a touchdown celebration. And that ain't a Come On Man, I don't know what is. And believe me, there's a lot of them. Or if you're at Oregon and you didn't realize you lost in 7 overtimes after taking a Gatorade bath.
Ew. That's big.
Yeah.
Because UCLA lost.
No, it was LSU he was coaching at that time.
Not at the baseball regionals.
Yeah.
UCLA is not going to have to come back and they're going to have to force them Monday if they're going to win that regional.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're an official and you run out of things to use to mark the ball where it's spotted, you'll use anything. That even includes a postcard.
Yep.
Or in the NFL's case, an index card.
Yeah, where they were trying to see if he had gotten the first down, and I'm trying to think, was that Tony Corrente, or was that Bernie, or was that the legendary Bernie Kukar?
It was Kukar.
I figured, because I remember, I'm like...
Because Corrente was laughing at this while he was at home.
I'm like, why is he pulling out an index playing card to mark the ball?
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's what the chains are for. That's what the chains are for.
And even if you are a sound guy, you better believe you better have insurance when you're covering sound for a football game. Otherwise, you won't end up like the guy did when the Minnesota Vikings ran him down coming out the tunnel. That hurt. This was a sound guy. He was covering the Vikings game for ESPN.
Well, I think I remember the game you're talking about. I think the dude. No, I think it was the camera guy.
No, this guy had the microphone. It was the sound guy.
No, it was the who was that guy? Parabolic guy.
Yeah.
He was trying to get down there to say what the play on the field.
No, this is before the game even started, though.
Oh no.
Yeah, he got hit as the Vikings came out the tunnel.
Like, dude, here's a suggestion for you. How about stay away from the tunnel?
How about you wait until after they ran through? Just go on the opposite side. You do not want to do that.
Yeah, you're not. Your body is not built for that.
No.
Yeah. If everything goes according to plan tomorrow, with the Nightmares All Access pod, which we'll tell you about as we close this one out.
Yep. Oh boy. Valentino Blake. Oh man.
Oh no.
Who can forget the 3 screw-ups this guy did while he was a Titan?
And what, most of them with the Titans.
Yeah. There was a game against Green Bay, and I happened to be in witness at that game. I was there. I was there for that game. I was working the concession stand at that game, and I saw what he did.
And it was not funny.
No. It was an onside kick when they recovered. He was pointing in the wrong direction.
Like, dude, really?
You're pointing that way when you should be pointing that way.
Yeah, that way.
Then there was what he did in Indianapolis. Down at his own team at the one.
Now, okay, see, that one, okay. Do I need to bring this up again?
It's not funny. That's embarrassing.
No. Do I need to bring this up again?
Bring it up.
Now, what do we constantly talk about in sports? What do we constantly basically talk about when good teams are making plays? Fundamentally sound play. And Valentino Blake wouldn't know the word fundamentals if it hit him in the head.
And been 2,000 years.
And third time that his nutsack actually got one of them destroyed.
Nah. The only way that would get destroyed if he taken 113 mile an hour fastball to the nuts. And he wasn't wearing a cup.
Randy Johnson to 100. Yeah, like Randy Johnson hitting the dude hitting a poor birdie in the head, and the bird had no chance.
Nope. Or
the bird went.
Or when the Titans were playing against the Bears, even though the Titans were winning, Valentino Blake was covering Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey missed the catch and kicked the ball, and it hit the cameraman in the nuts. But guess who was covering for him? Guess who was covering him? Good old Valentino Blake.
And let's see, Valentino, the dude that can't play fundamentals to save his own butt.
Nope.
I've seen basic fundamentals get screwed up more times than not, and when it's bad, it's real bad.
Yep.
It's gross.
Yep.
It's literally gross. Speaking of, by the way,
oh boy,
we're going to get some takers for that little flyer that I saw this afternoon, which was really well done, by the way. If I do so myself.
Thank you. And this and folks, like I said before, and we said it again, there's a lot of dumbness and stupidity when it comes to pro athletes. Even though they are people, they sometimes act like a couple of idiots. One of them is one thing you don't do. When you try to make a play, do not showboat.
Yeah, for the love of everything that is normal, just make the play and act like you've been there before.
Yes. Remember, in case in point, it comes to mind for me, will be the Pittsburgh-Chicago game when a Pittsburgh player who was trying to return a punt was actually trying to chuck up the deuce, and he got caught.
And let me guess, he probably had one hand on the football and it got knocked out of his hand.
Yes, he did.
This is why we always tell you, or this is why we discuss, please make sure you have two hands, not one, on the football, please.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
When the season starts in 3 weeks from today, if we do have a season tomorrow, it's going to be very interesting to see on teams that can actually play fundamentally sound football.
Yeah. And also, folks, if you're going to a Heisman Trophy award ceremony, for the love of God, please put on a pair of socks. Nobody want to smell your feet.
Matter of fact,
I guess when Lamar Jackson was going for his acceptance speech, I guess he forgot the memo about putting some socks on his crusty feet. Cause some feet were idiots.
Nobody wants to see that on national TV.
No, nobody wants to smell them when they're sitting next to somebody. And his pants were a little bit shorter than you think.
And then somebody punches you in the arm and it's like, dude, what is that? Somebody forgot to put socks on. And
Now, this is a funny game. This was between the Broncos and the Patriots. But somehow Ward slammed Julian Edelman like he stole something, like he was Rey Mysterio. But here's the thing. They slammed him when the Patriots are leading 16-3. And folks, we know how you like to get hyped up in games, but please, for all that is sanctified and holy, do not get so overly hyped that you wind up on come on, man, just for the sheer hell of it. I think there was one collegiate player who got so hyped up his inner Ray Lewis began to show, and he flopped around like an overgrown tuna. And it was on national television because he was flopping around, banging his fist on the ground. And then he did it again, and his coach told him, get your butt back in the lineup. Are you out of your mind?
Have you lost your ever-living, you lost that loving feeling, God-forsaken mind? Like, seriously. Come on now.
Yeah.
You're better then again, wait a minute, no, you're not. If you were better than that, you wouldn't be acting next year.
Now, yeah. And like I say, even if you're a football player, there's a lot of stupid things you might want to not do. And it's called, if it's popular, and this is one of my funny personal favorites, my favorite penalty, offsides, everyone but the center.
Offsides,
everyone
but the center.
And at least the center's got common sense. The center's got common sense. He's waiting for the quarterback's cadence.
And my other personal favorite, speaking of stupid, when the guy was like, what was it, Giant Jets and somebody, when one of the dudes and the flag was thrown, he's like, and my personal favorite call, personal foul, number 93, giving him
the business. And after he was through giving him the business.
It was like the best officiated call ever.
And it's the most funniest ever.
Except for the one for the Canadian Football League that I still haven't gotten over. Because every time I even think about it, it actually brings a smile on my face that an official could even say a number stupidly. And I can laugh at him.
and here's the thing, folks. When fans even celebrating, they need to tone it down a bit.
No, not just a little bit. How about a lot?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, when he did the Lambeau League, he got groped by a female fan.
Like, not just a little bit. How about a lot?
Yeah. One fan in particular was during the Green Bay game. Aaron Rodgers doing the Lambeau League. He got a lot more than he bargained for when a female fan groped him in places she should have never groped him on national television.
Like, wait. Please. Seriously.
I'm a taken man. Can you please get your hands off my dick?
Like, wait. Get your hands out of my space. I'm feeling violated here.
But he was laughing about it. But then there's also the other funniest thing in the history. Officials getting mixed up on penalty calls or ball calls. And one says that the kick was no good and it went wide. And why on earth are you holding up a field goal sign that you said that is good when it went far to the right?
It wasn't even close.
Not by a margin.
And speaking of kicks, never popular Tony Parkey double doink.
Doink, doink, and
upright, goal post, upright, and
oh, Lord. Prater and the Colts inflatable mascot.
Oh, Lord.
And the Colts lost this one. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, he was on the Lions sideline. Not his own team sideline. Who can ever forget the biggest funny college debacle in college football history? The 97-yard fumble seen around the world.
By the way, the 97-yard fumble backwards, not forward.
Backwards.
From the opponent's 3 all the way back to their own goal line.
To their own 3-yard line.
Like, that's 94 yards in field position. You're not making up a third and a goal.
From your own 3.
More like a third and a ride from start Vegas all the way to Singapore.
Mm-hmm. It was more like a ride all the way to Topeka.
It was like 3rd and 95.
Like, come on, man.
You ain't making that up.
No. If you watch that game, you know as we were telling the truth. Because that was the most hilarious and downright embarrassing thing for a college to do. Almost as much as a player giving himself up without downing the ball after he caught it. And the referee had the smarts not to touch it. But the South Carolina State Gamecocks did not. And Clemson jumped on it. Now that was funny and dumb.
Yeah, it was funny and dumb.
Yep. And who remembers the famous Josh Norman Odell Beckham Jr. rivalry? Shoot, I do. And that was a rivalry where Odell Beckham Jr. takes his own helmet and hits the kicking post, the kicking net, and it fell and hit him in the face. You gotta love it.
Interesting that they would allow the alma mater to play on a home run because the NCAA is supposed to be kind of, how can I say it, neutral for NCAA tournament baseball. Because they don't allow you to play the batter's theme music during the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. And there was also a major league reason why Ryan Fitzpatrick ain't with the Jets no more. The man threw 6 picks in his season with the Jets.
Yeah, and
Damn. Now there's a reason why most people don't allow fans on the sideline. Apparently, it was during the Auburn LSU game. The own Auburn player kicked the ball so high and so hard. When she tried to get it, she got herself clocked in the kisser. And she went down on national television. That goes down in history as the most stupidest thing you can do. Kiddo. And you want to know what's really bad? You realize you're in a swimming pool where there's see-through glass. And you realize there's a camera pointing at you and you are playing with your junk on national television? Why?
Okay.
No. That's one thing that should not be on television. As a matter of fact, that's one thing you should not do anywhere in public.
No, I agree with you, but I'm thinking to myself, okay, how stupid are you?
Yeah. Yeah, how stupid were you, dude, to do that on national television? And you realize that the camera was pointing right at you.
On national TV.
Good God, dude.
What are you doing?
Have some pride with yourself.
Have some, as the guy says, you have no decency, Sarah. Have you lost all decency?
Have you lost common sense?
Well, basically, common sense in this day and age is no more of a superpower than anything else.
True.
So, yeah, we've lost common sense.
Oh, Lord.
Because common sense left the station a long time ago.
With that guy. Yeah. But I don't even know what's worse. That or wearing a barely fair G-string bathing suit and losing $75,000 bet at the same time.
Now that is embarrassing.
And during the Super Bowl of all things.
But actually, I think that one's embarrassing and funny. The last one was just embarrassing and disgusting.
Yeah.
This one was embarrassing, funny, and he lost cash.
Yep.
So that was a him problem, not the other guy.
And if you Lawrence Timmons for all that sanctified and holy, make sure you empty the contents of your stomach before you hit the field.
Yeah, and please, if you have to go handle your business, please by all means go find a restroom. Don't let national TV cameras catch you taking a whiz on the field.
No, he wasn't taking a whiz on the field. He was tossing his cookies on the field.
Oh no.
It was Lawrence Timmons. He was puking on the field. He was puking out Gatorade.
Well, speaking of puke, who was
that? That I'm trying to figure out. And I, for the life of me, wish that I never wanted to see that.
There was another one. When the 49ers were driving down, somebody was doing a dry heave up chuck.
Yeah.
Before stepping into the huddle.
Yeah. And speaking of what you said about doing the business in the bathroom on the field, yikes. If you know that the cameras are going to be watching you, you got to be more discreet when you're trying to do your business on the sideline.
Like go find a bathroom.
Or more importantly, have the training staff put towels around you while you handle your business.
And go find a porta potty, please, for the love of God. Can you do that?
And if you're Cleveland Browns fans, please make sure you have the placing of the banners correctly. That says Dog Pound, not OG Pound Down.
Did somebody have a sign that says Pound Dog?
No. It had the G, then POU. That was one banner. Then they had the DAW and ound on the other end. It was 3 separate banners that's supposed to say Dog Pound. And it got so mixed up.
Oh,
the word dog was in the middle. That was hilarious, funny, and embarrassing to say the most. But then, of course, we can't forget our favorite former pro football players turned commentators now, can we?
Oh, I guess we can.
Especially if you're Randy Moss, who went to the wrong Bristol and got embarrassed for it. And then he acts like a referee while a parachuter was coming in at high speed on camera. He's the only one unfazed. Him and Steve Young were unfazed. Everybody else was running for their lives. He turns around, acts like a baseball umpire, and says, safe. Like Hasselbeck, man. I know this ain't your first time on Come On, man. We already know about the infamous cake incident when you almost break your teeth. But you broke your nose instead. But then there was the stupid thing that Travis Kelce did during the game against the Jags. Getting himself tossed. He was trying to show the refs that he got his jersey pulled on. A horse collar. But that's one rule that every football player should not do. Let's put their hands on the official. But here's another thing that players shouldn't do. Put your hands on the equipment, manager's equipment. And this was Marshawn Lynch who did this years ago. And he still does it, and he ran over the marching band.
Oh, jeez.
He was driving around, running over the marching band with the cart. Why after the T-tone fool?
Yeah, really? Why?
Like an idiot going, hey. I see why his mama was so proud. Because his mama was in that thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I said, folks, common sense, it doesn't take a rocket science to know how many people you have to have on the field.
Common sense is being used more like a superpower every day.
Yeah, Except that when it goes out the window, when you're the Cleveland Browns for having 12 instead of 11 men on the field.
Oh, they did that more than once.
Uh-oh. I think I think this is a really funny one. Boise State versus Hawaii. The coach had the benches moved because they were getting embarrassed.
Dang.
Oh, and the one thing I brought up, Valentino Blake with his time with the Titans against the Packers. And remember, I was there. I was there at the game. He was pointing the wrong way, folks. I kid you not. I was there. And I watched on screen as where he was pointing at. It made me snort cold drink out of my nose, and I was choking on a hot dog in the process. Not just any hot dog, mind you, a hot dog covered in nacho cheese sauce. I had soda coming out of my nose and a hot dog going down the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I was laughing until I was almost choking. I kid you not. Valentino Blake should not be allowed in the NFL ever again. And I'm sorry, but he isn't doing.
If he is allowed in the NFL, the only thing he should be allowed to do is just for comic prop purposes.
Yep. And so will Mark Sanchez, the famous butt fumbles all around the world.
Yes.
The butt fumble.
And I think that was against Tennessee.
Yeah, no, it was actually against the Bills.
Oh yeah, I forgot it was like Christmas Eve or something. Or the day before Christmas.
Yep. I mean, like I said, stupid. Like the old saying goes, stupid is and stupid does.
Stupid does.
But stupidity really has no business being this hilarious to wind up on national television. Especially if you're a Buffalo Bills player who was dancing and telling the referee where the ball was going. It's going that way. Yeah, that way. Yeah, that way. You is a puppet on a string.
Now, shall we give the fans an indicator of what could be tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Could be
tomorrow. Tomorrow, Carly Duffy on the show as we get ready to count down the season. Talk about it in the WFL and other good things, and you might not want to miss that.
Yeah.
And also if you think about coming back to play Johnny Manziel, for the love of God, no more signing autographs on $100 bills. They're pretending to shoot a gun after you yourself cost a penalty for getting sacked in the end zone after you stepped out. And all for the love of God, please, when you celebrate, don't overdo it. You will break your leg. And then for sure enough, you really would wind up on come on, man, and we'll be laughing right at you. We ain't gonna be laughing with you. We're just gonna be laughing right at you when you do this mess. Because if we see it on national TV, we're gonna tell about it. And have fun while we do it.
Yep.
And especially if you're the sound guy, make sure that all your personal effects is intact and still on you. You don't want to lose your sunglasses, your wallet, or the car keys on the sideline.
No, that wouldn't be a good idea.
No. So comments with it, and also players. For everything that's sanctified holy, there's a few things you might want to do. Make sure your jersey is a quality material that doesn't rip. Make sure you don't get your pants pulled down and you're shooting the moon on national television for real. And if you're a short guy and you're messing around with Kiko Alonso, make sure he don't pick you up with his hand right between your legs, carrying you like a sack of flour.
Yeah, and and drop you.
Not. And running you backwards 10 yards.
Anything else you need to cover, or are we done for this Friday?
Hmm.
Well, not 30, but, anything else you need to cover?
And before we go, just let me say this. Folks, we still in the midst of COVID-19.
Yeah, just because things are starting to open back up.
And things starting to change doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet.
Oh, no.
Y'all still got to mask up. Y'all still got to wash hands. Y'all still got to practice safe social distancing, even if you're vaccinated. Because as it is, this is about to be the new normal as it's going to get. And they're already requesting people getting another shot. So for those of you who didn't have that first one, you better get your first one.
Yep.
But,
I think on that note, I think we can close this thing out. If we need to talk about anything else, we can talk about it on Messenger because I don't have any more ideas right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, even though it's supposed to be an hour, we're wrapping up 27 minutes early.
Huh?
Yeah.
We got sacked in the turf?
No, wrapping it up 27 minutes early.
Yeah, we don't want to. I mean, I think what we're doing is much better. Cover everything, get it done in a short amount of time.
Yep.
If we need to extend, we'll extend.
Yep.
Right now, I think we're in a good spot.
Yep.
All right,
And to also relate it, if you're an offensive lineman for intents and purposes alone, keep your dad blasted hands off the football. You're an offensive lineman. Your job is to protect the ball carrier.
Unless you are the center.
You don't need to put your hands on that ball, Marshall Newhouse. I don't know, which is the one reason why.
There are only two people that are allowed to take care of the ball.
That'll be
Center,
and the QB
quarterbacks,
and running back and full.
receivers.
And don't forget the fullbacks. But here's
them too.
Yep.
But you hardly see many fullbacks. So.
Yeah, but unless you're Dennis Kelly, he is smart enough to know how to hold on to a ball with his big self, especially at 330 pounds making a touchdown.
Yeah, and the old adage of I've never seen a big fella move like that.
And neither have I. Wait a minute, I take that back. I have. Their head coach. While he was a Patriot, he caught touchdown passes from Tom Brady. Now that's a big man for you. And until then, remember, practice safe social distancing, wash your hands, wear a mask, even if you're vaccinated. And vaccinate when you can, because not only you're necessarily not doing it for you, you're doing it for everyone you love. You want them to sit around for the next few years or decades or so. So we have to protect each other at all costs. And we'll see you next Friday with some more goodies, mishaps, and uncensored bullshittery on this podcast, which is the Gridiron Power Hour at the hours.
See you in a week.
See you later, alligators.